Pessoal, a gente vai estar acompanhando Muso Wars Lopes versus Taif, América do Sul, final da Winners, beleza? Lembrando que se você quiser receber aula, você pode se tornar membro e também pode entrar no nosso servidor do Discord aí. Não precisa ser membro para entrar, tá? Pode entrar a hora que você quiser.
Very intimidating.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the longest tenured players in the world, also picking a Hammer Legend in the NASA D-Light into Cider comes out. Taif now. He's going to keep himself in this game on the Cassidy, and we haven't seen... I mean, Cassidy is just like, maybe arguably the best legend in Brawlhalla right now. I know that's like controversial because everyone's talking about terrorists, but like this legend has basically everything you'd want with two of the best weapons in the current meta right now, but Taif is going to pilot that to very high success. So we saw the Hammer do pretty well, but we see a Blaster's pickup get thrown away, and Lopez takes the stock immediately. First strike going over to Lopez.
What's crazy is I would agree with you that Cassidy is one of the best, if not the best character in the game right now. I mean, having Blasters, especially after a recent patch where some other options got nerfed, some other options got buffed, and Hammer, which is still incredibly impressive, with the option to have 9 decks, where Taif has been absolutely utilizing that to find strings and combos that you might not be able to find usually. And obviously, there you see it. You D-Light into the N-Sig, which very few characters these days, contrary to previous years, have a signature true combo. A lot of characters used to have a D-Light into N-Sig, and Cassidy is the only one that I can, unless I am absolutely tripping, the only one who does have that combo continuously.
The only other legend is Thor, but it's like hyper situational relatively.
True.
It's very high execution. Not that, I mean, like D-Light N-Sig on Cassidy is much easier to hit, but it's still like clearly better in many ways. Does a lot of damage and a great way to always either tack on damage or find a consistent KO, as if Hammer needed any more of that help for sure.
So far, big swings coming out from both players is now Lopez over onto the spear. The N-Sig going to complete that. Is the only weakness of that N-Sig is when it trades for being so fast, so hard to punish, and having a true combo is it doesn't quite KO as early as some other options, but just that safety and that consistency makes it so strong. I've also noticed a fair bit of Mishima Dojo picks out of South America by comparison to other regions. I think a lot of these players are very comfortable playing around platforms in comparison to perhaps North America or Europe, and so far, Taif looking very comfortable on this map, holding a noticeable lead here. Slowing things right down, knowing that he needs to, but Lopez stomps there, going to even up the stocks, but not quite the damage just yet.
Nice jumps coming through now from Lopez, who is a slight damage deficit, but nothing too major. Nice nair there into an immediate cider. That was a lot of really great damage there for the Cassidy to get. A nice little reversal situation sending Lopez off stage, but Lopez is getting some pretty great options. And GC down sig, you think Taro side sig is scary? I mean, look at also Nash's signatures that have pretty close to the same amount of force. Going for the down sig there, doesn't fight it, but a D-Light into nothing, and we go for the N-Sig very delayed, but doesn't catch Lopez jumping at all either. D-Light side air now puts Taif on notice. You're guessing for game, and you're dodging through the ground pound, but Taif saying I could do it better.
That differential is going to be getting KO'd earlier than expected against other characters. And I think how Taif has been sort of adapting and playing around that stat difference I've been noticing throughout this entire tournament is he's very much an on-off switch player where he will play a very passive game where he needs to. He will play a safe game until he has an opening, and then when he has an opportunity, he will crank up the heat. As I say that though, Lopez putting the burner on max, doing so much damage in a very short amount of time, has Taif within KO range already. One stomp stare on the edge will be more than enough here, especially on this stat spread. Now positioning for it, and Taif just looking for a way in, gonna find that Blasters combo.
Okay, nice edge jump cider to call out the full hop range as well. And Lopez landing right back down with an air stop, putting an end to the jump the beat playstyle that Taif was going for there, as the Marionette brings Taif right back to the stage there. Nice weapon toss into the end line, and yeah, this damage differential is going to be absolutely incredible, but there, Taif just gets a ground pound, and can you find it here? Doesn't go for the tap in, just waits for Lopez to make it back, and Taif saying, you know what, it's much better to gamble for myself in the future. The D-Light into N-Sig will definitely KO that. That was crazy. It goes so early relative to how much damage Taif has on this Cassidy pick, but nonetheless, you're happy to get that connection.
Taif now playing from behind, looks for the N-Light out of that side point. I think possibly a drop does find the combo there though, and that is one of the biggest strengths of playing that 9 decks Cassidy. You have those consistent combos and low dodge frame strings, but speaking of strings, Lopez gonna find one there with the spear, shut down the stock and maintain this dominant lead.
Yeah, this looks kind of fully in Lopez's favor, and I feel like Taif might know that as well, so we might be seeing some more aggressive options here we could definitely see Type, yeah, like exactly like that, going for a deep side air with an attempt to get a very early KO there. Nice weapon toss into looking for it.
Respect to Ty for maintaining composure there, despite being in a very hard spot underneath Spear, getting hit by those pogos, going to make it back up, maintain the stock and maintain the game. Goes for the Russian Mafia there, can't quite find the KO off of it, and now Lopez really dragging out this stock, making so much use of it and almost lapping in damage now as Ty needs to try and find something in the second game, but it's looking bleak.
Oh, okay, D-Light into recovery. Maybe was a misinput going for the N-Sig, but that time down air. No, we are near a misinput as he gets the scoop and score. And Type now forcing Lopez on his last stock. Doesn't make it so clear here who's going to take this game. Can never count a legend like Cassidy, who will get so much damage in a blink of an eye. 67 damage now onto Lopez.
And you're absolutely right, you cannot count out this character. The explosive potential is more than any other Hammer character in the game, and Typh knows it, playing around it, but the Stomp Stare will come in. Lopez taking game 2, only 2 Lion's Fortress in terms of layout, so interesting to see how these players play around that. I think Stomp Stare on Hammer is going to be a very big part of it. You let into the side sig out of Typh is a nice start, but both players getting very scrappy on this first stock.
Ooh, a big swing from Lopez there with that side signature, trying to catch Type, going for the low recovery. We don't see it there, though, as Lopez, I mean, he's looking so confident on this most
Oh my goodness.
The D-Light into the scoop and score. Cash that one into the bank as the gold coins fly from Type getting KO'd off the top.
Lopez really not letting up on the gas at the start of the second game, or third game rather, still trying to play aggressive. Typh gonna make the space, finds the Stomp Stare, looking for a GC neutral out the side there. Take it back up, and Lopez not afraid to get into this threat range, not afraid to just put out the options. Typh looking for that hammer string there, can't find it, and now just trading blows that he can't afford to trade as Lopez holding on to this lead.
A nice dodge there, the walk-up end light from Lopez. And just a raw, unarmed haymaker to take that stock and taps it in with a GC downlight into ground pound and cash that one in at the bank as well. As Lopez now is 3 stocks to 1 versus Typh.
Such a difference in pacing between the previous sets we saw between these two. Both of them playing a very scrappy game. Now Lopez went for the spear. Haven't seen as much of that in this game so far. Typh looking for anything here. Can't quite find the opening. Needs to find at least one D-Light to get the recovery. Will most likely be enough to KO, but Lopez just raw swinging with his hammer. Poised for a 3 stock so far.
Okay, nice D-Light into the immediate recovery, and Cassidy, piloted by the Typh, is going to be looking a little bit better here in his chances to take this game, but I mean, it's maybe all but over here. It's looking tough.
Very dire straits here for Typh. He's going to find the true combo there with the sidelight, D-Light, sidelight, and Lopez. Just one well-placed recovery, or the pogo, and there it is. Almost clean.
We're now 1 game away from placing himself into a guaranteed second, maybe potential first, as he puts himself in winner side grand finals. But Typh is definitely gonna have to put his make it difficult for him to do so. Maybe do it himself. D-Light into ground pound starts off the damage from Typh, who is very willing to play unarmed somehow, as Lopez gets a big down stick into a nair. That's a lot of damage. 100 damage now onto Typh as the weapon toss comes in as well. Nair, weapon toss. Hammer pickup into the nair, no connection there, and a big...
Lopez has just been so in Typh's face, doesn't find the jump for that side air, but is still going to take the first stock so swiftly. Lopez, the amount of pressure he is exerting with this Nash pick is so impressive. Typh just almost looks lost.
So crazy. It's just the ability to really smother, and this is just the experience from the side of Lopez. Typh is one of the best Hammer players and one of the most tenured or most played players with the most playtime on Hammer of all time, but Lopez also showing, I mean, he's been playing since 2017 and definitely has the experience to continue to perform. We see the weapon toss there as Typh now. Okay, big damage there. Woo, 67% into the nair for 89. Typh is so happy to get that extra damage there, and Lopez making it very difficult for Typh to make it back to the stage, but he does go to the downer off the weapon toss, picks up the hammer, immediate recovery, and Typh has to be so careful. Another nair comes out from Typh for something big here. A side air into the other side, trying to reversal Lopez, but Lopez getting the downlight in the side air of his own. punish.
I think the word I can use more than anything else for Lopez is just comfortable. He just looks so in his element on this hammer, even when he's in like these situations. Unarmed right now is going to push up the side just to make it back, but even now I'm not counting out how like, Lopez's ability to just take this stock and the side tick comes through because of the stock there as well. Lopez, we're going to look for the hammer here. In fact, staying on the spear.
Okay. I mean, this is definitely a closer game than the last one, but when Lopez gets big strings like that, the nice 3-piece for 50 damage, it gets real scary. But Type getting the very late backwards hitbox of that hammer Nair to put Lopez on his last stock and potentially force his game to find D-Light into Cider. Lopez with a chase dodge forward, look for that cross-up option. Type going for the D-Light into Scuba, doesn't find it. And Lopez ground pounding the crown, Shovel Knight in his name, and trying to make it happen there, trying to dig for something with that ground pound, but he didn't find it. D-Light into side air. Once again, Typh now having to make it back. And you make it back. The scoop from the downer doesn't connect. Neither does the recovery, and a ground pound from Typh just sends Lopez off stage, but he didn't get much more than that. A side air call, and Lopez trying to dash back to center stage. They're docking for positioning, but Typh is coming out on top of another side air, and now the damage going to Typh's favor, but Typh doesn't pick up a weapon. He picks up some blasters. We haven't seen much in this game. He's going to need all he can get, but somehow throws the weapon away. Lopez sneaks by, picks up the hammer, one D-Light away from taking the set and moving on into Grand Finals. Type doesn't want to make it so easy. The NSIG anti-air comes out, D-Light into NSIG, and we got a game 5.
Question.
3, 2, 1, brawl.
Right into this one, we got Small World's End, and Lopez won on this stage previously, right, in the set, if I'm not mistaken?
Cool correctly, yes, and so far it's looking like a repeat as Lopez just stuffs out everything! And a sub 15 second stock for Lopez at the start of game 5.
0 to KO, if you've ever seen one, a ground pound KOing incredibly early, and now Lopez is so good.
I'm trying to fight back with these blasters, looking for anything to try and create space here. Doesn't go for the nair there as Lopez overextends to the top. Lopez something on the spear, whiffing a little bit, but Typh doesn't want to commit to these more dangerous punishes, knows that he's down very deep after that early stock. Advantage for Lopez, but does find these two down as side air as well. Typh trying to bring things back here, does have the room to do so. Side light doesn't land the NSIG, and now Lopez can try and make up here.
Nice dash up forward. D-Light into NSIG, the way he won the last game. And now Typh, I mean, it's pretty close now, especially in the context of the fact that Lopez 0 to KO Typh previously. Now signatures come out, D-Light into N-Light, and the damage is even, all but even. 2 damage separates the two. Going for the nair there, doesn't find it.
It's as if that 10-second stock just didn't happen. Typh having a fantastic game in equalizing up that damage differential. Both players approaching that 100 damage range. Hammers both in hand, then dashing back and forth looking for an opening side. They're going to come through the side sig as well, and that is the danger of these signatures on the Nash kit. Such wide sweeping sigs that have a deceptively large amount of speed for the character archetype.
Okay. Typh is holding on to this wall right now, definitely slowing it down. Lopez looking for that pogo, doesn't find it there, even with the triple exclamation point. D-Light into NSIG. Another NSIG attempt there, but a D-Light NSIG will be enough to take it. And we go to last stock. Game number 5. The distance, once again, every single set this tournament, top 6 has been down to these last stock game 5s. And wouldn't want it any other way for winners finals. Because looking for the dash forward into the sidelight. We get sidelight.
Nossa senhora.
Oh, goodness.
Weapon toss down with Lopez. D-Light decider drops the conversion. Sidelight to get some damage there. The hammers cutting holes in the stage here with all those sparks flying. D-Light. Typh doesn't find it. Smart. Lopez looking to scour out some sort of option here with the side light as well, and the weapon gets spawned. They both cross through each other with the dash dash jumping. Boom.
D-Light into the neutral there for Typh. Now approaching the range where he could find a KO onto Lopez. The raw D-Sig gonna send right to the top right corner. Lopez now has stage control. Looking for an edge guard here. Not quite within Stomp's air range. Side Sig not gonna connect. Looking for something. N-Sig comes through, disarms Lopez. Typh going all the way up, tries to go for the nair. Can't find it. Lopez caught by another N-Sig, and that's gonna be enough.
Caraca, mano. Enfim, pessoal, se inscreve pra estar acompanhando mais do campeonato, tá? Um grande beijo. Até os próximos vídeos. Tchau, tchau.